Oh, hold on. Thanks.
Okay.
Just like the library board
Yeah.
announcement. Okay, we're all set.
Okay, great. I will call this meeting to order. Let's start with roll call.
All right, Chair Christine Adams,
Present.
Jenna Biondolillo.
Here.
Mark Husbands,
Present.
Karen Miller,
Present.
Cody Phelps,
Present.
Emma Wood.
Present.
We have Councilmember Jim Woodward.
Present.
Inglewood School Liaison Gary Manfrey is not present. Staff, we have Director Christina Underhill, Recreation Manager Allison Boyd, Aquatics Manager Kris Davison. We have Open Space Manager Adrian Torres, and Open Space Activity Supervisor Lindsay Peterson. Everybody. All right, thank you.
Wonderful. All right, let's move to approval of the minutes. We'll take a second to review them if everybody hasn't already. And if there are any changes, please let me know. If not, I will be looking for a motion.
I move to approve the minutes of September 14th.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
And Jim, second that? He cannot second that. Do we have a second from the board?
Second that,
Pardon me?
Thank you, but
Oh,
you're the council, but pass.
you know, I
we
brought
love you
that
so
up
much.
Tuesday night at the water board. Why are there council members making motions to approve things that we're sending to council?
I approve.
Well, I got a note back from the city attorney. Yeah, she's gone through the charter and everything else, and that's okay
Oh, is it?
Oh,
because they're voting members. I
oh,
thought,
oh, I didn't realize that you were a voting member.
yeah, other than the minutes.
Some boards you are and other boards,
You're not. I don't.
but I'll verify
Yeah.
Well, we will take your
These are
second.
voting.
for tonight.
Thank you very much, everyone, for really approving our minutes. I'm very supportive of it. Do we have any public comment?
We do not.
Okay, so we will go to new business, and apparently we need to elect a new vice chair. Why do we need to elect a new vice chair?
He has resigned.
Okay.
Yep, she's moving out of the city.
Oh.
I think she said
She
she's
lives in
already
Denver
moved.
now.
Is it Denver or Sharon?
Oh, yeah.
Or,
Yeah, it's Denver.
Okay. Do we have any nominations for vice chair?
I nominate Karen.
No.
No.
She's already doing the trust fund.
Or any?
Either you don't want to do that?
I'm happy to. I guess I would love a job description.
Sure. You run the meeting sometimes.
Yeah, if I
Okay.
can't be here,
I'll have
just do
some
this.
conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
That's
happy
it.
to. I'd love to.
Okay.
Nominate Emma.
All in favor?
I.
Any opposed?
Oh, wait, so,
I don't know how this works.
No.
Welcome.
you motion, we need a first and a second.
Oh, a first.
A second.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
I
Okay.
didn't know what I was doing. I just went in. So. Wonderful, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, and, okay, let's do this again. Emma?
Mhm.
Jenna.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're new.
Just gonna get it. All right. Okay, we have a new vice chair. Thank you, congratulations.
Yes,
Happy to have you.
congratulations.
Okay, let's move to end of summer updates starting with Kris Davison.
Thank you. And so I have some updates relative to the packet. So please disregard what's on page 3 of this packet. With the 2023, we had a great summer. So with incident free, so our number one priority is 0 drownings. So obviously number one, we accomplished that, which is very much positive in that regard. Just to highlight some things that we had as far as the year that might have been different from last year. Last year, Pirates Cove opened 2 weeks late as a result of some staffing recruitments. Some of the other things, in addition to 2022, if you remember, we weren't also open on Mondays. And so for this year, a lot more benefit. We were fully staffed for the summer, which was a huge positive, huge goal for us. And so we operated 7 days a week for Memorial Day weekend through August 13th. And then once August 13th hit, as the kids went back to school, we then operated weekends only through Labor Day. So if everyone remembers June, or maybe they want to forget, depends how you feel about that.
And all the lovely rain.
We had a tremendous amount of rain, and so that was really reflected in our attendance figures. And so if you look a little bit further down on the page as far as our attendance, which may not capture it completely, compared to last year, we actually were higher in our overall attendance by 7,000, but kind of digging in the numbers a little bit more, month of July, to give you some context, 33,000 was our attendance in July. June, we were at 14. So 6 days that we were closed, and specifically, I think some of those days occurred on the weekends, so some real high volume days that we would usually anticipate didn't happen during the month of June. So that was unfortunate in that regard, as far as that's concerned. But overall, we hit 77 days out of a possible 84. So there was only one more day that we hit in August that we weren't operating as a complete day, and that was due to cold weather. If you remember, we had some unseasonably cold weather towards the end of the month that occurred. So other than that, some other things that we did as far as to highlight Pirates Cove, we completed a big plaster project, and so that was something that we started in 2022. We completed that in 2023 on our lagoon and our lazy river pools, and so that was to address some where we had originally painted the bottom. So the plaster had looked fantastic. We had some challenges just because of just some water sources that we're looking to still address, but overall, that's going to be something where that plaster project is going to keep the integrity of that pool for years to come. So that was a great investment in that regard. Other than that, we had also experienced some leaks. So Pirates Cove not being without challenges, and so we had determined that there was 2 separate leaks on our lagoon pool. We were able to excavate, locate those leaks, and repair those prior to opening. So once again, that was a success on our end. But as we realized, Pirates Cove was in its 20th season, and so that asset is continuing to age, and so we're still looking at kind of those opportunities we're assessing right now as far as kind of what to value and prioritize as far as replacement and repair of some of those items that are starting to age. So other highlights with this, and if you look at the revenue figures for that, and I apologize if it's very small in terms of being able to see that, but just to kind of capture that in terms of what our numbers were specifically for that. Our revenue that we had for 2023 was $1.5 million. And our expenditures that we had was right around 1.27. So as of the end of the year, as of September, we had our net as far as 239,000. So good year. Some of the benefits, I guess, and some of the things that certainly lent to us had to do a lot of it with our seasonal wages. We weren't 100% staffed, and so that certainly helped us in some regard. But by all means, certainly 239 positive summer. So other than that, that's about all I have for the report. So, thank you.
Are there questions, comments, concerns?
How old is the park?
So 20 years. So, I mean, as for full years, so as we get into beginning of next summer, that will be the completion of its full 20-year cycle.
Is there a celebration planned?
We have talked about that, and so it'll technically be the 21st year, but we have talked about capturing that as part of something historical to do 20 years. And so it's certainly, we're in the midst of evaluating that. We're in our end of summer, so that's where we're talking about all those things. And so certainly that's been a topic of conversation.
Cool.
forgive me, were you all at the meeting at Pirates Cove? Okay, would you,
I was not a member yet, but I was there.
do we want to talk about potential opportunities at Pirates Cove just for new members?
As far as kind of what could be on the horizon.
Mm-hmm,
So.
just briefly.
Yeah, and so there's some thoughts and some ideas that the city has in terms of expansion with that. There's a bond has been discussed, and forgive me if I misspeak, so help me out. But it's something that there's a bond to address basically some expansion, and so with that being a 20-year-old facility, it's time to bring some additional amenities to that park. So that's one of the things that we talked about as far as adding additional slides, addressing some aging areas. There's one of the pools that's there, which is our competition pool, has some challenges with that. And so we're looking to address some of those areas with some different amenities as well. So once again, being a 20-year-old facility, I think the feedback that we got from the summer is people coming in and they're looking for something new and hoping to give that to them, hopefully soon.
And we can share some of those plans with you.
Yeah, we'll be bringing the bond conversation back up, because originally it was gonna go on the ballot this coming November, but it has to wait until 2024. It's a special election with the presidential election.
Okay.
And so we'll be discussing this further at meetings, upcoming meetings, because we've added some more projects to the bond possibility, and then we'll have a somewhat new council potentially coming on board too. And so again, we'll need all your help in notifying your neighbors and friends and those who live in Englewood. If the council chooses to continue to move forward and put that on the ballot, it can be the only thing the city has on the ballot. So
great. So for history, we've had this bond for how many years?
it will sunset this coming December, and I think it was 2003.
So,
Yeah, that's true. It built the cove.
and so we can,
wow.
the voters can vote to renew it, which would allow us to do rec center improvements, Pirates Cove, park improvements, trail improvements. So it's a pretty big deal, but once city kind of, if it gets voted, the city kind of has to get out of it. And that's where the commission really can step in and advocate for it as council representatives and members of the public. And so that's when we really take a bigger role in that bond project. But we will wait another year,
Yeah,
but
well,
still be very involved.
we'll kick this back off after November's election. We didn't want to, we kind of went quiet for a little bit because we didn't want to confuse people.
Yeah.
We're talking in November and they'll be like, where is it? It's not
Right.
on this ballot. So probably December, we'll start the conversation again and continue through the new year.
Great, perfect. Any other questions? Comments?
No,
concerns?
it's being 20 years makes me feel old though. I remember when it opened.
And that last bond is also built Pirates Cove.
Did.
Yep.
It also did improvements at the rec center. It expanded Malley Center. What else? Do you remember them?
Sure.
Or maybe I'm just kidding.
That's all.
No,
I think that's
rec
it.
center, Malley, and
Pirates Cove.
Gosh, I think I was here.
it was more
I
just
was here then.
facilities. It wasn't.
I know. Yeah, I think it was facilities mostly. But we have some opportunities, I think, for,
Big opportunities.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm excited to share the new projects with you because
yeah,
we have some cool things.
yeah. All right, let's move on. Thank you. All right, let's go to Farm and Train.
I'm Allison Boyd, Recreation Manager, and Lindsay Peterson is the Open Space Supervisor. Put together this report, so I'm going to ask her to kind of pop on some of the highlights, but you should have all this in your packet. She does a wonderful job, and we're very happy with this past year. It was a really good year.
Yes, it was a very great year, very busy, and a lot of visitors, a lot of guests, and a lot of happy kids. I don't know how many times we heard throughout the summer, I came when I was a kid, and then I brought my kids, and now I'm bringing my grandkids, so it's been great seeing that generational follow through, enjoying our parks. So I won't read all the bullet points and everything, but we had a lot of fun animals. This year we had 3 alpacas for the first time, and they got sheared in June, so it was fun getting to see them, before and after. And kids got a big kick out of that. We were able to train one of our pigs to sit and stand and put on a little show, so that was cute. We included an educational nook in the farm hallway. So it was just kind of all this, did you know about, these are the different kinds of hens and what color eggs they lay, and just kind of those quick little tidbits of fun facts, just so to kind of keep that engagement and that curiosity for the kids and the families. We had 3 volunteers throughout the farm, and they were a huge help and just kind of helped boost that safety and animal interaction, so that was great to have. One project we worked on was we had 7 tons of pea gravel delivered to the farm, and then we distributed it evenly throughout all the pens. Because of all that rain that we had in June, we were noticing all the low spots and kind of standing water, so staff did an amazing job getting all that leveled out, and it was, I know it's not one of those like, it's, yeah, new and shiny and pretty, but it was for a half hour until the animals got it. And we did have to close the train for 16 days due to repairs. That was the radiator, the ignition, the things were leaking, and I don't know, it was
a mess.
It was a mess. So 16 days it was closed for those kinds of repairs. And one day we closed we didn't open at all due to inclement weather. And then we had 4 days that we closed early because it was raining in the afternoon and stayed raining. So the weather was very cooperative for us, but also very hot. We do offer buy one, get one coupons. And so we hand those out at like Kids Stage, Movies in the Park. The summer library program uses them a lot. So we collect those when they turn them in, and the library ones are the ones that get redeemed the most. So I love seeing that interaction, and Kimberly does a story time in the park at Belleview and does stories about trains and farm animals. So it's great kind of seeing all that integration. But yeah, that's kind of the quick summary. And then we did have over 70,732 visitors over the time we were open, which brought in $186,632. And that's
$250.
at $2.50 per person.
A lot of people.
So we do sell some concessions, and brought in over 11,000 just in concessions. And children 2 and under are free, but you get kids that ride the train hours and hours, and we get calls, we're coming from Colorado Springs, and we just want to make sure your train's going to be open today. And like, yes, it is. And, so it's kind of very different destination spot compared to Pirates Cove, but still they come and they spend the day there enjoying the park and the creek, and we have summer camps and birthday parties, and it's a family favorite for sure. So.
I have a couple of questions, but I will open it up to the floor before I ask mine.
I have one observation. The under 2-year-olds, 6,370 for 2023 compared to 4,485. And that's the future for the train. There's people that are riding that train when they were a kid, and now they have their kids riding the train.
So we have a driver that rode it as a child, and now is the driver of the train?
Yeah.
He's retired.
The train has been there since about 1969, is what we found, and the farm as well, about early 70s. And that's when the Lions Club ran things, and then Parks and Rec kind of took it over in the 90s.
And the current train is not from the 60s. It's from
93?
93,
93. The current train is 93.
yeah.
Yeah.
So not
But
quite retired yet.
It's funny because
Next year.
the Lions Club owned it. I was president of the Lions Club,
Yeah.
and we gave it to the city, and I was mayor at the time.
So you were driving the train on
Fourth
the
of July, I said to then city manager Gary Steers, we didn't get our dollar, because with $1, another
Yeah.
$50
Oh,
in
right, a year,
consideration.
yeah.
He pulls $1 out of his wallet. Says, there, I don't want to hear about it again.
Any other comments?
I'm wondering, is the Buckaroo Pass popular?
It is, yes. And next year, we are increasing prices to $3 per person instead of $2.50. But we are gonna offer the Buckaroo Pass. Basically, it'll be 10 visits for $25, which puts it at that $2.50 price. Yeah.
And do you find that those are used all the way up, or are we profiting a little bit? Okay.
The first year we did it, we used like a scanning card,
Uh-huh.
like you would use at the rec center. And then that became a little too complicated. So then, because we didn't want to hand out all the tokens of, here's 40 tokens, and then they get lost or, you know. So now with this kind of smaller amount, it'll just be easier to do. Here's 10 tokens. They get used.
My tokens have been in the wash, so they're
Exactly.
very shiny.
Oh, good. And some people like to just save them too. They're like, ooh, this is a new one this year. I'm just gonna buy one and save it. Okay.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions. One, for folks who have, because I have a very robust social life and I went to a 4-year-old's birthday party. For folks who have reserved a picnic shelter, are they notified? Like, they didn't know that the train wasn't running. Granted, they're 4-year-olds, so they really don't care. But are they notified when things aren't available to them ahead of time?
No,
Okay,
it can be.
that may be something that would be helpful.
You're like after the season?
No, during the
Oh, during the
season.
season.
Yeah, because they were
Yeah.
planning on like train
Entertainment.
and petting zoo and, you know, and it wasn't a big deal because they lose interest. But still, that may be helpful for people who are renting the picnic shelters for birthday parties, just to notify them ahead of time. And then, for the BOGOs, or even when we do sell the Buckaroo passes or whatnot, are we collecting any demographic information on those folks?
You're not.
Should we?
We can, yeah.
Would it be
Yeah.
helpful
I
for
mean, we
us
could always
in
just
any
ask the
way?
code or something when we sell the pass or the buy one, get one.
I don't know if
We
that would
did
be
that one
helpful.
time with, it's been a long time though, but we did something like a survey like that, but yeah, certainly we could.
I think
look into
maybe
the
like
demographics,
for
sure.
grant applications, that's always helpful to have.
Yeah.
If we're gonna apply for anything, just to know
Can you
like
use
who's
Placer
using
for that?
what.
Yeah.
You
Can you
can,
place
so
your-
we've got
it's
the
a little-
Placer AI data, which
Mhm.
uses cell phone data, we're tracking this everywhere. And, but we utilize that for all our events. We know that we are a huge tourism destination for Pirates Cove and Farm and Train.
Yeah,
But it's not super, it is specific, but it's not super specific.
which
so-
is great because there is a new SCFD law where we can't collect ethnicity.
Right.
So yeah, so that's very restrictive right now. It should be overturned soon. But I think for like grant application purposes, it could be really helpful to know who our users are, and eventually what ethnicities they are, their zip codes, things of that nature. Just so in the future we could apply for more
I don't, like, we could
or
probably ask,
matching
like,
funding.
are you a resident, non-resident? We could also ask what city
Yes.
you live in, or zip code.
Mhm.
We would not ever ask ethnicity.
Correct.
How much
Yeah.
is your annual health?
Yeah.
Household income.
Yeah.
Right,
We can kind of capture that data through that AI
yeah,
stuff, so.
just generally speaking, I think
Yeah.
that could be helpful.
We did use that for our Logan grant.
Yeah, I think that's always very helpful, and it's hard to do in parks and open spaces because nobody's scanning a card to get in, so it's, you know, you have to generalize, but if we're selling something, that's an opportunity to ask some questions, I think. Just my 2 cents. Or my, if you will. You should not have elected me chair. All right, are there any other questions about farm and train? Thank you so much for this is great. And I've had nothing but great feedback on this all summer from my fellow 4-year-olds. If not, we'll move on, I guess, again to the train.
Yeah, so kind of good news, you know, you talk about
Yes.
being notified people when the train breaks down.
And I did tell them there's a new one coming.
There is, okay, yes. So council, last Monday, on October 2nd, approved the contract to get a new electric train for Bellevue Park. Originally, that was put into the bond proposal that we had presented to a lot of residents and the council and to you all at one point. But being that it broke down 16 days and it was a loss of revenue and a lot of sad kids, we were able to get that approved. We're working through all the paperwork now, getting it ordered, working through all the new electric hookups that are going to be needed at the park for the new train. So right now, tentative ETA of arrival of the train would be possibly in May. It may be delayed slightly, but we'll keep you all updated as it comes along. If it does get delayed and we have to use our current train, we will be using the train for Holiday Express. So fingers crossed for that too. It won't derail this year, but it might just not work. We have new train wheels on it. So there's so many factors. It is an old train. It's doing the best it can, but definitely a new train is coming. So we're very excited about that. That will keep you updated.
Great. I have a train at my workplace and I understand. Okay. Any questions about that? Great. December meeting.
Yeah, so last year in December, we met at Broken Tea in Wyatt's, did a little catering, kind of end of year recap that we provided you, and then what we're looking forward to in 2024. So we can do that again, well, 2023 last year. But if you'd like to do that again this year, we can definitely get the plans in place for it. If you want to do it in November instead of December and take December off, that's a commission decision. So talk amongst yourselves and let us know what you'd like to do. If you want to have the last meeting of the year in November and we'll go back to Broken Tea, or we can go in December and do the same thing.
I will say historically, we've always skipped the December meeting and November's always been the last one, which would be my preference, but I am one of many. Especially since the bond is not coming up this year.
Right.
The pressure is a little bit off, but I am up for discussion.
What's the date of the November?
The 9th.
9.
Yeah, I'm gonna see the status quo, probably.
Stick with November meeting, Broken Tea, skip December.
Works for me.
Good.
Sounds good.
Okie dokie.
We'll get the plans in place.
Great. Okay, old business. Adrian.
I brought pictures.
Ooh.
I can watch now.
You can watch it, you can turn
Okay.
around. So last week,
Yeah, good look.
No pressure, Debbie.
I have them ready.
This is a good shot right here, everybody's intrigued.
so last week at Bates.
Oh, I saw this. Yeah.
Hey, don't ruin it for me.
What?
Don't ruin it for me.
Sorry.
So last week at Bates Logan, they brought a crane in and we placed the show, or the restroom. We
Woo.
were very, very, very excited about that.
It is exciting.
The community, your neighborhood right there is probably pretty excited.
They
about
are.
that.
We had some people stop and watch.
I
Or
like
walk their
their
dogs.
history.
They're saying, oh, we
Oh,
aren't
there it
gonna
is.
have a bathroom until.
So they brought the
spring
crane
or
in,
summer.
then they brought the restroom in on the semi, and then the crane took it off the semi, and we swung it around and placed it.
And that was the foreman. He ran the whole thing on the left there. The little kid.
Yeah.
That's
Uh-huh.
his son, so he's homeschooled, and he's like, yeah, I get it,
This was
guy.
a learning moment.
Yeah, so
Yeah, very cool.
It's actually quite the feat because you can kind of see there, the bottom is poured concrete with holes in it. So they have to have all the plumbing and everything lined up perfectly. So, they're within an inch to get that place just right.
That's pretty fab.
There were a lot of nervous guys for the contractor that were. A lot of guys on their belly looking underneath that it was coming down, so.
So it's just like a compacted rope base it's set on?
Yep. So that's part of our phase 1 project. Next thing that they'll do a lot of flat work out there, so you'll start seeing flat work. We have a common sitting area between the restroom and the new pavilion. So the flat work will get done, and then the pavilion is gonna be delivered into this month, early of November. So we're still on track to hopefully finish by the end of the year. They have to move the water line off of Logan. They have to move that a little bit, so.
And can you explain what will be done to the new members by the end of the year?
The new what?
What will be done here by the end of the year?
Yes.
Is it just this restroom or?
Just the
is it-
restroom,
Okay.
that pavilion and the common area between them. That's,
great.
that'll complete phase 1.
Great.
And moving on to phase 2, council approved the IGA, I think on the 2nd as well. And so I'm working with finance on the RFP. We're hoping to have that open at the end of the month. So phase 2 will be our new playground.
Awesome.
So that'll be, we're even more excited about that. Use the hillside and have some slides and some really cool stuff. I think, you guys have seen some of the pictures, but, so that'll be phase 2. And I already started working on the grant for phase 3. So in the spring, we'll apply for another $600,000 from Arapahoe County. And phase 3 will potentially be a pump track. That's kind of where the playground currently is.
Cool.
And it'll kind of wrap around towards the parking lot.
Awesome.
And hopefully we'll replace the basketball court at that time. And more than likely, we'll have another community meeting over there, neighborhood meeting.
Great.
To get some more input on that part, because we're pushing 3 years since we did our first meeting over there. So that's our exciting news about Mesa.
Great.
I will add, we've had a lot of requests for pickleball. We know that is somewhat of a challenge for neighborhoods, and this is very close to homes. So we want a lot of feedback from the community, especially those neighbors that border the park. Bocce courts also has come up, as well as a few other things. So
Good question.
yeah, so we may do the public meeting as part of a Parks and Rec meeting, but it may have to be indoors because the grant
Yeah, we're running out of
might
time.
be in snow.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we definitely want feedback. We may survey the neighbors as well, because if pickleball rises to the top, we want to make sure everybody's on the same page with that, because it's.
Definitely noisy.
can be a
And
nuisance.
understands
What would
the,
that?
yes.
For sure.
Mayor Sierra brought up to me, I think he brought it up to you, that he had some neighbors of his that are right in that Bates Logan neighborhood that had come forward to him saying, how about some neighbor liaisons? We would like to be neighborhood
Excellent.
liaisons regarding the pickleball court. And I think they were pro and said, I'll bring it up, the meeting. And I said, but gee whiz, where would that go? Thinking of the sound. I don't know where it would go in Bates Logan.
What was originally planned, there was a couple spots that it was originally planned. One was next to the parking lot. So it'd be right east of the parking lot. And then another one was east of the basketball courts. So kind of where the playground is, would be the basketball court, and the pickleball courts would be east of that. So those were the two originally planned areas.
And it's not going to be 16 courts.
No.
And I think some of the proposals that are getting pushed back are larger courts, or not larger courts, but a lot more courts than the other two.
Yes.
So.
Yes, very much so.
There was something I saw, I can't even remember, I think it was Channel 6. It was some kind of an informational thing, that there's some new surface stuff that they've got for
Yep.
pickleball courts, so the
They're doing a lot of
noise
sound
level.
studies.
Yeah, noise level is a whole lot.
There's some new
less.
technology coming out, but that also means typically costs are quite a
Oh,
bit
yeah.
more. So, yeah, we'll get the feedback. We'll keep you updated on those meetings. So if you'd like to attend, you're welcome.
Yeah, please email any of us, any of your feedback at any time, so we'd love to hear it.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna continue on with my report, if that's all right with you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Unless there are any questions, like, are you on Bates Logan?
Yeah,
or-
Bates Logan's done.
Okay, any questions on Bates Logan? Continue on.
Okay, thank you. Mile High Flood District installed a live feed camera at the plaza. So that'll help us monitor that trash grate and we can better monitor, water levels during a flood or an emergency situation.
And the
So
plaza is, say where the plaza is.
285 on Broadway. Where we just redid all the stuff down there.
Yeah.
Drawing a blank.
I
Yeah.
just want to make sure you all like know.
The egg
what
bag.
we're talking about.
The egg bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, the egg bag.
Okay.
So we just installed it. We haven't got the live feed yet, but we will. And then us and Public Works will be able to monitor that during any storm. So it was quite the challenge this spring. They've made some modifications to the grate, which has helped tremendously. It hasn't been quite the issue that it was this spring. So we're making progress over there.
Has it been a problem since they had to take that bladder out?
Yes.
Yeah,
The bladder
That's
works
what I
pretty
figured.
good.
yeah, that's what I
So-
figured.
You get one tree branch against that grate and it compounds it pretty quick.
Yeah,
They opened the bottom and we're allowing more flow through the bottom now, which is
good.
working.
Good.
Believe it or not, they started putting holiday lights up on Broadway. So we're partnering again with EDDA, that project this year. So they started last week doing the trunks and stuff. So if you see them out there, they're starting to get lights up. And then they will, it'll still probably be a month before they make it to Belleview to do the Holiday Express lighting as well. So another really cool thing for us, council approved the 24 budget, and Arapahoe County is letting us use 20% of our shareback funds for maintenance. So we were able to add an additional FTE for 24. So we'll have another full-time employee, which will help us tremendously. So we're very excited about that. So we'll go through that process and have another parks technician for 2024.
That's great. Awesome.
That's what I got. Thank
Okay.
you.
Want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a couple of things. We have some events coming up. The trunk or treat and the market are on the 21st here at the Civic Center. The market's down here in the afternoon and trunk or treat
10 to
in the
2.
morning, 10 to 2.
10 to 2 out here.
And then we have the trunk or treat up here on top. Currently, there's about, I think, 20 booths, 20
21.
different.
21.
Exact. Okay.
21 is what we
21,
heard.
maybe 22, yeah. So that'll be a lot of fun. And there is a registration for it, however, it's free. So it'll be pretty neat and fun, so please come out.
We have 491 registered.
Yeah.
We had a meeting.
It's probably
Yeah, we
it's
just
probably
had-
500 now since we had the meeting
Yeah,
today.
probably.
What is the goal?
What did we get last year?
It's at least double that, over 1,000.
Yeah, so there's still time.
Yeah.
People will probably register.
Oh, yeah,
And we
That's
have
great.
some walk-ups that
sure.
we can't say no.
What's the market?
The 21st from 10 to 2.
Well, when
Oh,
is
I'm
that?
sorry, I thought you said when. So we have vendors that come out, sponsors and things like that, that sell goods, and we have food trucks and fun kind of things like that. And just highlight the city
Yeah.
and the area, so.
Okay.
We have a few of those throughout the year, and this is kind of the last one, the last hurrah.
And the
music.
registration is just for the trunk or treat, not
Correct.
the market.
Yeah, the market is just walk up and have some food and visit with the vendors.
You want to mention the Mountain Bazaar? Is that on your list?
Keep going.
My computer died, so here. The Englewood Holiday Bazaar is on the 2nd of November, 9 to 3 or 4, whenever we kick people out. It's a holiday event that has over 100 kind of arts and crafts, holiday themed sale items. We fill the ballroom, the gym. There's approximately about 2,000 people that come through that day. It's a very busy day, and it's pretty popular.
It's
So
really.
please come
I
out
would
and spend your
encourage
money.
everybody to go.
It's
So,
It's really cool.
yeah, I think we'll get close to about probably 120 booths inside there. So it's a pretty good thing. We have food donated.
That's here?
It's at the Malley Recreation
Malley.
Center. Yep, so it's our active aging center over off Broadway there. We do have the tree lighting on November 2nd out here.
December 2nd.
Did I say November? In 2 weeks? Sorry, I wrote it down right. Sorry, it's really small. December 2nd. So that information will be coming out pretty soon. And then we do have the Holiday Express on December 8th, 9th, 15th, and 16th, and Lindsay handles that program. We have over, I think it's over about 500 tickets sold now. We have some time slots that are sold out. Is there anything else? It's more than that.
Yeah, we have
I was
over,
like,
tickets went on sale on Monday
Yep.
and we have 3,000 tickets available and over 1,400 have been sold.
1,400, okay. Thank you.
So
It's
a
serving.
couple of the time slots are already sold out. But if you guys are interested in any tickets, please send me an email, let me know. I'd be happy to get you guys some. So, we're also looking for sponsors too, so if anyone wants to sponsor.
Yeah, Lindsay preps all year for that event, so it has a lot of help with parks and setting it up, so it's a really cool event. Have you all, who hasn't been?
Oh,
You
you
have to
guys-
come
it's
this year,
amazing.
it's a
Okay.
really
It's
cool event.
amazing.
You get to ride the train.
Yeah, email me and I'll forward on to Lindsay, since you have my
Yep.
email, so.
And then a quick update on the renovation at the Recreation Center. We had the floor tile pulled in the front area. Brad probably reported their last meeting over closure because it's the dustiest, dirtiest, loudest part of the project. It took a week to pull all that tile out and get polished concrete there. There's not a lot of activity since then, if you've been there. The front looks kind of nice. We had to move our front desk staff and move some staff around. However, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. We're working with some IT things. Right now, contracts are being signed and then getting to permitting next week. So we're moving forward with that. We're not behind on anything at least. So after this next week, once we get all the contracts signed and the permits kind of done, we'll have a better timeline for you. Hopefully we'll be able to tell you when the project should be completed. And then the last thing I have, I'll switch it over to Lindsay because we worked together with the SCFD grant and we got our funding for that. And you remember the exact number?
I was gonna write it down. I was like, no, they probably talked about it.
27. Yeah.
We applied for $28,000 for 2024 and we are receiving $27,984.17.
Oh, 17.
Sorry, we'll take
They
it.
were generous.
So that covers a lot of our program areas. Lindsay and I work together with doing an allocation process with all of our supervisors that want money for that. So some goes to Malley to do some fun things that are free. A lot of enhancements with the events. We hire bands with that, movies in the park. We spread it a long way. And we're finishing up spending the rest of the funds this year that we kind of had a little overlap with some of the COVID extension with our money. So it's a really neat thing. One thing that's going to be happening on October 18th, next Wednesday, is we're getting a mural painted, put in at the Recreation Center on the back stairs. It's a very gray, dark equipment room. I mean, it's lighted and whatnot, but it's a very colorful, geometric design that's going to go up there. And we're using SCFD funds for that as well. So we'll do a before and after and kind of thing. So it's kind of fun. Anything else with that? Got it?
Yeah.
Thank you for the work on that. She has the check in hand. Very excited. Thank you.
It's $27,916.75.
For the record.
The official record.
Thank you.
Do you have anything else, Lindsay?
Sure. Okay, I did forget to add with the farm, we did get some ADA panels, so, excuse me. It's similar panels to when someone's in a wheelchair and they go to the beach. It's those kinds of panels, so because the inside of the farm, not the
7 tons of gravel.
most. Yeah, it's a lot of pea gravel with some wood chips. And then there's just one little cement area, so now with these panels, we can lay them out when we see guests that might need them or have any troubles walking. We can lay them out so they have full access into the farmyard and not just kind of confined to one area, and access to exit at the exit gate to wash hands and just kind of the normal basic things. And then we'll be able to use them during Holiday Express too, either into the craft tent or by the s'mores area, just for that added accessibility. And with the new train, it will be ADA accessible with a ramp that'll come down, so making it much more inclusive, so.
And that was a
Very
sponsorship.
excited. Yes, that was a
Good job.
sponsorship that we applied through Developmental Pathways, who they gave us the money for the panels, and then also at Holiday Express we'll have, it's called the Calm Down Corner, and it's just kind of an area of calm because it can be very sensory overload at Holiday Express with lights and sounds and trains and music, and so Developmental Pathways is sponsoring the Calm Down Corner. Just kind of an area, softer lights, you know, fidgety toys, sit and read, that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, that was also a application through Developmental Pathways.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, very
Thank
excited.
As far as anything else, we have programming that's going on since Pirates Cove has kind of shut down. We're going on with ongoing program. Swim lessons has been ongoing with our fall. We're finishing up our sessions that we have going on over there. I think next new session coming along that we have as far as group swim lessons, 178 that have enrolled. Aqua Fitness is very strong right now. I think we're somewhere around 248. So, which is just, we're just really hopping with that. This is really kind of a time as we're kind of circling back around and really kind of doing some planning and preparing. And so in addition to our staffing, a lot of it is we're doing instructional work with our staffing and providing them training. So as part of our risk management company, which is Allison Associates, those are the individuals that license all of our lifeguards. We are going to be sending one of those to the upcoming instructor training. So that will be coming up November 10th, 11th, and 12th. That I'll actually be instructing. And so I'm going to be happy to bring another person on that'll be providing some instructional services for our lifeguard program. That's about all I have. Thank you.
They covered it all.
Good job. Awesome. Okay, let's move on to Commissioner's Choice. Do you have anything for us?
I don't have anything.
That's okay. Do you have anything for us?
I don't have anything.
No, bring it.
Cody? Jim?
Nope.
I'd have stuff. I like bocce. My sister will, and her husband will also vote. Let's see. I like a hot tub at the rec center.
Got you on the list.
Thank you so much. And then I do want to just bring up, this is my last thing, I promise, and it's serious actually. So SCFD will be going up for a vote again in, I believe, 3 years, and they're already starting to ramp up their advocacy for it. It's very, very important that it gets renewed. And that we stay in the category that we do. And so it will be important for us as a commission to advocate for SCFD. And so as soon as more information comes out and signage comes out or whatnot, I'll share that with all of us. But so much funding comes to us, and it will be just extremely important for us to get on that bandwagon to support this funding. So I just wanted to put that in your ear that there is, there are naysayers, but I believe, and we can talk about that as a commission, but I believe this is something that we should support wholeheartedly. So just putting that out there that they are beginning to campaign for this already, even though it's 3 years out. So
We get a lot of funding.
We,
Just do parks and recreation for that,
we do,
not to mention Inglewood Arts and
correct. And, if it doesn't pass, that can all go away. So that's why it's so important to support this initiative.
And our summer drama program uses some of it too,
Mhm.
right?
Yes, we
Yeah.
allocate
A
funds
lot
for
of
that.
it.
We've
lot of
talked
it.
about having it as its own entity, but it wouldn't change probably the amount.
Yeah. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents on SCFD. That important. So if you see your commissioners, any SCFD members, there is a commissioner. I think there's in every county, there is an elected person who's on the board. Just talk about how great it is. Anyway, that's all I have. Do we have any other comments, questions, concerns before I adjourn the meeting? All right, meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Lindsay on Holiday Express. You're sold out.
Nice to meet you.
Lindsay.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
The
I
Fourth
need
of
a
July.
shot.
Yeah, I feel like I've missed you a couple of
But-
times, so good to see you.
Yeah, I was
Cushion
gone
room.
last time. I
Yeah.
was out of the country.